things like that, because I've been there.
Okay. Now, was it something that, was it like a health situation, or you just sick and tired of being sick and tired?
I was
What
sick and tired.
what was it?
I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was, you know, to that point, I had no energy. All I wanted to do when I got home from work was sleep. You know, I didn't want to go out and do anything. Kids wanted to go somewhere, husband wanted to go somewhere, and I just didn't want to go.
How many children do you have?
I have 3.
3 children, and the ages?
13, 9, and 7.
Oh, bless your heart. So, oh my God.
And a 16-year-old stepdaughter.
Oh my goodness. Well, bless your heart. Well, and this is something that you had to do, maybe to take out for yourself, take time out for yourself, do something for me, that me thing.
Exactly. You know, I just couldn't stand feeling that way anymore.
Okay.
You know, not feeling good ever.
And I'll tell you something, Sherry. When I look at children, we're not going to get to the adults yet, but when I look at the children who we find they overeat and things of this nature, guess what? They got those habits from us,
Exactly.
from the adults. And as you were saying, it started with you making the decision that you wanted to change because you were sluggish. And
Right.
well, let's talk about some of the steps where you came from and where you are right now.
Well, over the years, I mean, I've tried everything. I've done it all. I did the Weight Watchers. I did the Jenny Craig. I mean, I could go through a whole list.
Okay.
I've been there, done it all.
Okay.
And you know, of course, everything works for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
Consistency.
Yeah, and it just, I couldn't get anything to stick. Nothing would stick. You know, I got tired of counting calories, and I got tired of having to eat special food, and I got tired of not being able to eat this, or, you know, so the weight would always come back on, you know, and after years of trying the different diets, and, you know, I've tried this rapid weight loss, and let me take that pill, and, you know, I've done all that stuff. After all those years, I found something that worked for me.
What was your lowest point before you got to the point, you know, what was that lowest point?
That would have to be back in April.
Okay.
I weighed close to 250 pounds.
Wow,
Back
okay.
in April.
Okay.
And I mean, it just got to where, you know, my husband's real big on family pictures, and, you know, I like to get them done too, and I got to look in the very last family picture we got done. I wasn't too happy with it.
I feel you, sister.
You know, I sitting in the living room looking at that picture on the wall, it just, that was enough.
Wow, that reminds me. I can remember, and people will tell me now, because I still say that I still struggle, and I'm one of those people. I struggle with losing 10 to 15 pounds. You know, I don't want to be a skinny person. We don't want to look like our friend over there. She looks good though. But I wanted to be. I want to maintain a certain, you know, size. Right. And I would just find myself being married, having children, as you were stating earlier, and that just becomes, it just takes all the wind out of you sometimes, take away your will to want to do it. One day, I was going through some pictures, and it was my husband's family reunion, and I'm like, oh, this person has an outfit on like mine. And when I reviewed and looked at that picture a little closely and looked at the back of the head, that was me. I had gotten so disgusted. You know, I was done with children, so there was no excuse. I was just married and happy, as they say. You know,
Yeah.
Cooking, just I was content. You know, I had the man, and I didn't think that I had to go and do anything to keep myself up. And we have to remember those things. So when you say those things, that was my low point right there. But I still struggle even now with the last 10 to 15 pounds.
Yeah, it's, you know, in my experience, every step is a struggle. But, you know, when you get to that point where you're finally tired and you actually find something that really works, suits you and your lifestyle, that makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. And that was it for me, was to find something that worked for me and fit my lifestyle.
Okay.
And how I could do it.
And how did you do it?
I found the right thing. I was able to use it to fit my lifestyle. I didn't have to change much. I found a company called Plexus.
Okay.
through a friend of mine.
Okay.
And they have a product that just allows me to, I don't have to change much about my lifestyle. It helps me to still be who I am and be able to lose the weight.
Okay. Now, are they restrictive? You can't eat certain foods, you know, and you know, is it something like that?
No, they're not actually, and that's what's good about it for me.
Okay.
Because I had such a problem with that counting calories, and I can only eat this, and
Okay.
you know, I had such a problem with that. I like to eat, and my husband is a very good cook.
Oh wow! Oh my God!
So I had to find something that worked with that.
Okay.
You know, and this really allows me to do that. You know, it's only something I have. It's a drink. I drink once a day.
Okay.
And it helps to curb my appetite. It helps keep my cravings down. I don't crave the sweets as much, which is a big thing.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you something else. It's a mind over matter thing. So with the stresses of being married, having children, how does that come into play? Is it more of a struggle for you to stick with that, or?
Well, it was at first.
Okay.
It was at first. I mean, it was hard for me to get into that routine of, you know, because at first it was like, oh, one more thing I have to do in my day, you know, but I got myself into a habit. I get up in the morning, I drink my coffee. When I'm done with my coffee, I go grab my bottle of water, pour it in my water, shake it up, drink it. I'm done.
Wow, so it suppresses the appetite, basically.
Yeah, and I just added it to my daily routine, and I'm done.
And what about exercise? Do you find, is there like a regular, because for me, you know, New Year has come and gone, and I didn't lie to myself or to anybody else. So it'll happen when it happens.
It's one of the first things that I'm probably the laziest person you'll ever meet.
Okay. So do you find if you did find yourself dealing with the exercise that would even enhance you more?
Yeah, I'm sure it would. I'm sure
it would. Well, we have something planned for you because we here at Fox Studios, because we'll be offering those classes and aerobic classes, and we're still lining things up for that. And it's still not too late, even for me. You know, it's not too late.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, I have a hard time, of course, with, you know, I work and then come home and there's the kids and the husband in the house, and you know, and it's trying to find the time to get out there and do anything. So,
how supportive are they?
Absolutely, 100% supportive.
Okay, cool beans. You say your husband is a cook. How supportive is he?
He is actually very supportive.
Is they cooking?
Oh yeah. He cooks very healthy. Of
Okay.
course, my husband's got some health issues, so that has changed his cooking style a little bit. But he also, I mean, he's real big on, he cooks fresh vegetables. You know, we don't do canned. You know, that kind of stuff. So, and the kids are real supportive. You know, my son the other night grabbed me in the dining room and gave me a hug, and he said, "Mom, you know, I can't remember the last time I was able to put my hands all the way around you."
Oh my goodness!
So that was a big thing.
Emotional.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Because I know that,
yeah.
You know, when he said it, I was thinking it at the same time, because it's been a long time since any of my kids were able
to. And isn't it funny how sometimes things that seem to be, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but just maybe hard to talk about or to discuss, that when it becomes so easy, and it goes back to you making that first step.
Yep.
And then, so are the children, are they gung-ho on trying to eat right or seeing that their health? Because our children, let's face it, you know, I think it's one of the things that the First Lady talked about, she's dealing with the children being obese and everything. So that's a big factor, because the children are our future. So with what you're doing, is it rubbing off on the children?
It is. My daughter actually used the same product for a while.
Okay.
So, you know, it's safe for her. And they've all gotten into healthy eating habits. My 7-year-old, of course, you know, he's 7 and all he thinks about is junk food.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's got to, he doesn't ask for it as much, you know. He's gotten better. He's not such a picky.
Well, you know, the bottom line is, when you go into that grocery store, the control really lies with the parents. It lies with you. So I believe too that, you know, at this point, he's 7 years old, it's going to be a long time before he can actually go out there and hustle or work and get his own money. to eat the way he wants to eat. So I think that, I believe you're on the right track with that, and especially with the children, because I mean, you know, you don't want to see these children with diabetes by the time they turn high teens or in their 20s, and they're having all these health issues. Right. You know, and not to mention all the stuff that's on the food. So it's great that your husband, at least he's the cook in the house, so at least he's using some wise choices.
Oh yeah.
When it comes down to the healthy eating. And I was going to ask you another question. Now, the children, the family has seen it. What have your friends and maybe some of your loved ones?
It's amazing actually. Last week we had to make an emergency trip to Ohio.
Okay.
Not some good circumstances, but I got to see some people I haven't seen in about 10 years.
Okay.
So the reactions from people, you know.
Time to make you feel good.
Yeah, one of my best friends I haven't seen in about 10 years, you know, we kind of went out and let loose, and she just, what are you doing? It's, you know, it's amazing. I can't believe it, because, you know, they all, of course, the whole Facebook thing, everybody follows you.
Oh yeah,
you know,
oh yeah.
And they saw pictures when I got to my lowest point, and then to now.
And now, when we talk about the lowest points and when you were, you know, hitting that rock bottom, basically, when you find yourself there, what are some of the things? Because you will go back there. Because just because, you know, you're there now, so the real challenge is staying there. You've gotten there. Now you have to stay there. Not only just stay there. Sometimes once you are there, now it's time to move on to make those small goals. What are some of the things you're doing to make sure that you're keeping with the small goal, not a real big picture?
Well, one of the things is the picture that I don't like so much.
Okay.
It's right where I can see it all the time. So it's a constant reminder.
Okay.
It's a constant reminder. You know, little things like what my son said to me the other night.
Yeah.
That will keep me going.
Okay.
You know, just a whole difference in the way I feel. I feel so much better
than
I used to.
Because I said earlier, it's a mind over matter. One of the things that you have to be careful, I've seen a lot of people do, when they start losing the weight, they lose their mind. You haven't been accused of that, have you? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? People lose the weight, and then they're just basically, you know, oh, I'm this and I'm all of that, you know. So you're not arrogant with that. That's a great thing.
You know, one thing, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be, and I haven't forgot where I came from.
Okay.
So, you know, and that's, my whole goal is to help other people get there.
And I'll tell you one thing, you are on the right track. You are on the right track, because the more you find yourself helping others, guess what? You're going to go to the next level, because see, where those people were, where you were in the depressed stage and not knowing what to do, you're at the stage now that you can now help those people out, and while you're helping them out, you're elevating to the next level. So what is your goal? I mean, your ultimate goal. What would you like to see yourself April, and then maybe to this April, coming up this April, where do you find yourself? Get that television out of your room, but she's really holistic. And one of the things I'm really strong about is the colon cleanser, because you know with the colon, we have about 30 to 50 pounds worth of waste in us. So when you think about 30 to 50 pounds, that's half your goal. Right. That's why models look as good as they look, because they're always flushing. Flushing. So that may be another booster if you want to think about that, or eating more fiber in your diet and things of that nature.
Another thing too that I've learned is a big thing that helps to hold weight in is candida. It's a yeast buildup.
Okay.
And it comes from eating a lot of sugary foods and stuff. So when you cut back on all that and sodas and, you know, all that stuff, and you get rid of all that yeast in your system, and of course when you put it all together and work it all together, it's just even better.
You just said something, and you know what? I've heard this. I even saw a commercial with the lady. She said, "I tried everything. My husband tried this product," and they show it's like a cartoon, and he just shrunk up like a little like a one. And she's like, "I've given up sodas. I didn't realize the power of sodas. Now, even though I don't do as many, I love Sprite. I don't do the other stuff. I love Sprite, and I don't. Since I've given that up, even my skin has gotten better. I don't, I do a lot of the teas, has, and maybe some of the juices they have the sugar in it or whatever. And you're teaching me something here because I know better. I know better, but it feels so good sometimes just eating that ding dong.
I'm a big Mountain Dew freak. I'm big on Mountain Dew. Yeah, I gotta have at least one a day. So, and that's one of the things I learned when I started on this whole program.
Okay.
Plexus, and there's other products that you can incorporate with it.
Okay.
And that's one of the things I learned was about the yeast buildup and the total body cleanse, because it's not always just about the colon. When your arteries get clogged, and, other things are going on, then that can add other factors into that.
Well, but with the colon though, 85% of all diseases start in your colon, and that's why when we eat. I love cheese. I don't do as much. I do a lot of the white cheeses now versus the yellow cheeses.
Right.
But because my one friend, he said that's glue, the cheese, and I love it. I love it. One thing I learned though, that with that, and if we are not eliminating, we're having all kind of coronary diseases, heart diseases, all kinds of diseases come. But you feed a baby or a dog, boom, they're gone. But we're the only specimens that are eating stuff, and some people. And I listened to a radio show, and there are some people they weren't doing like 2 weeks, 3 weeks before they had a bowel movement.
Right.
They're gonna have a lot of issues if they don't, take care of that. So that's when you mentioned about the arteries and things of that nature. All that makes a difference.
Yep.
Do you have a number? Because I know you were saying something about there are pictures, or if someone wants to know more about, how you're doing this thing.
Absolutely. My number is 615-578-7058. And there is a website. It's whydrinkpink.com. Super easy to get to. And there's all kinds of other people that use the product, obviously.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to see my personal pictures are more than welcome to contact me, ask me questions, anything. My goal is to help others get there.
Okay.
I'm 75 pounds lighter since April, so.
Well, you know what? And I was going to ask that question. I'm like, well, do I need to ask that question? But this is why you're here, to help people. Wow.
75 pounds, and it feels great. So.
That's a whole nother person.
Yeah.
It is. Oh my goodness. Well, I am so proud of you. And then as you're saying, would you find yourself maybe talking to groups of people if they invite you to come out to talk with them?
I haven't yet, but I would love to, because there's so many people out there that need to hear just the inspiration from somebody else.
And I tell you something, when you do that, even when I did, I told you when I saw that picture, I had to go to the doctor, and this was embarrassing. I broke my foot, and so I had to go in and have surgery. And when the doctors wrote in my chart, obese, I'm tall, I'm 5'8", so I'm tall, so I can carry the weight. I was never jiggly or anything like that, but I was solid. I was a big person. And when I saw that on that was also part of the picture, looking at that picture, saying, is that me? Oh my God. I recognized the clothes, but I didn't see myself. Then there was another time I was in the shower, in the bathroom, and I had a mirrored shower, and just not thinking, walked past there and saw myself. So those were the factors that really made me want to get it right. And do you know, I looked 10 years younger when I lost the weight. In my 20s, I look older than I do now, and I'm almost 50. It's
amazing.
It's amazing, and I want to definitely encourage you to continue to talk to young people, especially your children, and those that you come in contact with, because that's going to make a difference, with the way our children are.
Absolutely.
And is there anything else that you'd like to share? Maybe like you said your husband's not in, maybe you can kind of encourage him from watching this show. Hubby?
He actually got quite a scare right before Christmas. He was in the hospital for a little while, and he finally gave in, and he's like, you know what, it's working for her. I've watched her do it all this time, so now he's trying it, and just to get himself back on track and everything.
And that works so much better when you have a partner. You have, it's great if the entire family is now beginning, because you don't want to force it on people. When something's good to somebody or to you, you can't force them to see it. You know, the only thing you can do is like live your life,
Right.
you know, in front of them, you know, to let them know that they can do that. But
Yeah.
that's very encouraging because of his help.
Mhm.
Because one thing I realized too, Sherry, is that if there hasn't been a whole lot of damage done, every 30 days your body can rejuvenate itself
Mhm.
and can restore some things that you thought that were lost.
Right, right.
So yeah.
Yeah, so once you start getting back on track, and you know, one of the first things I noticed, even before I noticed pounds coming off, is just an overall sense of feeling better. Once
Yes.
everything started getting healthy and the weight did start coming off, before I noticed it, the way you feel is just totally different.
And it goes back to what I'm saying, you know, having your mind not, like I said, not losing your mind because you're,
Right.
you're losing the weight, but staying consistent, and that is a key, being consistent.
Mhm.
So have you, since April, have you found yourself like, you know, wanting to give up or just like at the low point ever?
Really, I haven't.
Good.
I haven't. You know, I mean, I've been able to help a few others
Okay.
to get on the right track. And
Mhm.
one thing that I always tell them is just don't give up.
Mhm.
Just don't give up, because you never know when you're going to give up right before you reach the prize.
Now, are you open to new things as you're going from this level to the next level? Yeah. Wow. Sherry, give your number again, so for those that may be interested and want to hear more about your story.
Okay, it's 615-578-7058, and anybody can call me anytime.
Okay. I am inspired. I'm inspired by what you've shared with us. I pray that our audience will hear what you're saying and get on track, you know, because I learned some things just today. I'm leaving the sodas alone. I'm going to be careful with that sugar.
Absolutely.
And I just want to thank you, my sister Sherry Carpenter. And remember that God loves you, and so do we. Great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you about that too.
There are things that God has purpose for your life to accomplish. There are many of you right now that have set your course toward goals.